right, Rachel. There is no place like home.
Yeah.
And you get to compete, 10 minutes away from home? It's not every day that you get to drive to the curling rink to curl in a Grand Slam of curling. What's that like?
Yeah, I mean, last year it was almost a little bit overwhelming. There was something to do every day, and everybody coming to watch all the draws. It was exciting and lots going on, and I mean, it's an amazing facility. So really lucky to have it 10 minutes away from me, and yeah, it's fun to be able to see the kids more often and be at home.
You're a big reason why this event is actually here. How did that all come to be?
Yeah, my husband kind of knew some of the managers and people that started up this rink and running it, and just a private arena, and knew of it, and pretty awesome. We came to see some of their opening games and that, and thought it'd be an amazing place for curling, and turns out it was.
Well, amazing for you for a lot of reasons, of course, because family, friends, they can all come and watch. But you also curled really well here.
Yeah, it's great.
You're thinking back to it, but there's been a lot of wins since, but you did win the slam.
Yeah.
How, you've had so many different experiences at this point of your curling career, but how unique was it to have everybody here and win?
Yeah, I mean, it's different, right? Like, I'm originally from Ontario, so being out here for quite a while now, and kind of having that community out west, and Sean's family is from out here as well, so lots of people came out and watched, and yeah, it felt like a hometown slam. And in Ottawa we didn't have a venue for that, so not sure if that's going to be in the works in the future, but out here is just an amazing venue, and yeah, we thankfully performed and put on an awesome show for friends and family.
Of the many things I admire about you, one of them is the ability to, in some respects, compartmentalize. When you're curling, you're curling. When you're being a mom, you're being a mom. How complicated does that get on a week like this when you know they are so close? Do you stay at the house? How do you navigate that?
Yeah, I think it's important to kind of have that separation, and when you're in game mode and you want to prepare exactly the same, even though it'd be very easy to just go home and see them and hang out. You just want to have that same rest, same prep time for your games, and same meal times. And, it's important. We're a team out there. There's only 4 of us. So having that connection throughout the week is really important. So, yeah, I'll be staying with the team and having our meals and our regular routines together. So it's no different, but also very different,
And yet last year, I think the timing was that you played in the Pan-Continental and then came right into this event.
Yeah, something like that.
So, and you ran home, you did the trick-or-treating,
Yeah.
and then you went back and you played. So you have been able to find a way to make this all work because these moments are important to you.
Yeah, I mean, Halloween, my kids just light up for it. And we looked at the schedule in advance, and we had an afternoon game, and then I think a game the next morning at noon. So I was like, okay, I can get on the road, get to trick-or-treating for an hour, like get enough sleep for the game. Kind of calculated it out and made that work. And, it's just when they're young like that, it's Halloween, and just holidays are really extra special and magical for them. So it's just fun to always be there as much as I can for those moments. And this year I don't have to race around for Halloween. I'm just going to be there, which will be different. But yeah, it's same thing. It's slam and then straight to Pan-Continental. So I'm lucky that, 1 week is close to home. So I'm not actually on the road for 2 weeks. So I'm a little bit lucky that way.
When you won the slam here last year, it was your 16th. You're coming off your 18th slam. And when you walked past me in London, when you won your 18th, you kind of went 18, like, this is crazy. You've had a couple of weeks to digest it. Does it make sense yet?
No, I mean, it's hard to wrap your head around it. Everyone's like, oh, same as Kevin Martin. I grew up watching him and being so successful at his prime. Like, it's pretty cool to be even talked about in the same light as his teams and how well they did.
You have wanted this, you've dreamed of this, and now you're living it. People ask me all the time, how is Rachel on this role, and how do you continue to play at such a high level? What do you believe has been the reason this team has been able to win the games that maybe you didn't pull off in the past, but also in some respects continue to dominate in such an incredible way?
Yeah, that's the magical question. I think there's a lot of reasons behind the success, and we got 4 people pulling in the same direction. We're all kind of at the same stage in life and motivated, and know what our priorities are, and finding that balance. We've all kind of found, we all have slightly different lives and what that looks like, and support systems, and figured out what works for each of us. And then, you have to have the makeup of a great team. And I feel like we have that. I think the game's changed, and just have everybody in the right position, and everybody, wanting to be the best at their position, and just going to school every day. And it's been really fun. It's been, exciting ride. Hopefully it continues for the next year, and we can hopefully bring some hardware back for Canada. But, it's sport, anything can happen, and we know everyone's gunning for us. So, we have to make sure that we're putting in the work every day. We're training as much as we can together, even though we're living apart. We're finding ways to make that happen.
To that point, you bring such an ease to your game in a way that I can't recall. It's beautiful to watch, and yet I know, and I've heard anecdotes recently about how much of a student of the game you are, how much you're watching in the background, how much you're researching in the background, how much you know about this.
Who'd you talk to?
I have my sources.
Okay.
But maybe give us, to the extent that you want to reveal, some perspective on what you're doing in the background that allows you to walk into these moments and be really confident.
Yeah, I think, there's a lot of technology and resources out there that we're making sure that we're using, and making sure that we're preparing as much as we can for every game, and learning from every game. Not necessarily other teams, but just making sure that we're getting better every single game, because if we were playing at the same level as we were last year, we're going to get beat this year. So everyone's watching what we're doing. Everyone's watching really every nuance of our game. And with the rules changing also, there's some of that comes into play. So there's kind of been different rules in the last 3-4 events.
How do you feel about that, Rachel?
It's different. The points aren't really relevant this year. It would be nice to practice what we're going to do in trials, but in the same breath, I think, they're trying to figure out what works moving forward to the next quad. So, I understand why they're trying different things, seeing what works for programming, for TV, for the game, making it exciting. You never know unless you try. So, yeah, I think you can look at it both ways, prepping for trials, but I think, we've all been working hard for 4 years. Sure. So if we're not ready yet, then, this next couple slams aren't going to make or break it. So I think, this year is a great year to try out different rules.
How do you feel about blanks?
Haven't thought too much about it. I read about it 2 days ago. Texted my team.
Well, you get
at
one
midnight.
per game.
Yeah. It definitely changes some things for us, for sure. And I'm sure quite a few teams, majority probably the men's game. But it'll just change what we're doing a little bit. But I have no comment. I haven't tried it yet. So,
right.
How would I know?
And a draw to the button.
Yeah, even through playoffs, I think.
Yeah.
Last week we did draw the button. No, there was no playoffs. I think it was just draw the button always, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's hard to keep track.
It's hard to keep. The weekend before,
Right.
we do draw the button, and then no
and
extra,
then in the
and then
playoffs, extra end.
And now we've
no
extra ends.
Yeah.
Okay.
You did win draws to the button.
Yes. Yeah, we did. Strategy's a little bit different, and don't really want to mess up on that last one, but you're kind of playing the game in a way to prepare for that if it comes to it.
Right.
So it's different. It's not what's going to be at trials. It's not going to be at the Olympics. Maybe that's what it's going to be moving forward. So just win early. then it won't be a problem.
You just put them away early. That's a winning strategy.
Yeah.
Hey, listen, it's fascinating to hear you say that if you play the way you did last year, you'll get beat this year, and that you have a target on the back. Do you really feel that and believe that, and is that what drives you in training each day?
Yeah, for sure. Everyone's got tape of everything. So, the mistakes we were making last year, everybody knows about them. So, we got to
There were
clean those
mistakes
up.
in that run?
There were, yeah, definitely. And I think, yeah, you got to clean them up. You got to get better. You have to keep moving. Otherwise, they're going to catch you. And that's hopefully not what we want this year. We want to, continue on our run and continue playing, our very best and, leaning on each other. It's not an individual sport. We have a lot of fun out there together and, just trying to support each other right through the trials.
Not to be too cheeky, but there have been many on social media, and I don't often read the comments, but every so often I'll take a peek in, who say Rachel Homan and her team should be anointed the representatives for Canada at the Olympics. I won't ask you to respond to that unless you want to. But how do you feel on this incredible run going into the trials, knowing it's a best of three and knowing it's sport and anything can happen, about this scenario you find yourself in? Because some countries, like in Scotland, Bruce Mowat knew exactly where he was going because of the wealth of work he put in. Mm-hmm. And if that were the case, you would overwhelmingly be the representative for Canada.
Mm-hmm. Every country has their own system, and it's probably exactly how we felt last year going into the Scotties. As Team Canada, we had won the year before. How cool would it be to go back and try and win another gold for Canada? But, there's a lot of steps before we could, get to that opportunity. And, feeling the same way going into last year's Scotties, it's just a one-game final and anything can happen. It's sport. So, we've had some experience with that, with this specific team of going in, with the target on our back. Playing the Scotties as Team Canada is not easy.
Right.
Everyone brings their best game, and then, you had just won gold, so you really want to get back, and try and hopefully do it again. And I think it's going to be, similar feelings, same kind of thing going into trials. We hope to be putting that maple leaf on our back at the end of the week. If all goes according to plan, but, we know that there's always, so many scenarios in which that doesn't happen. So,
right.
I think we felt it last year, and I'm sure we're going to feel it again this year.
Have you guys talked about what it would be like to get to the Olympics and have that opportunity, and how much does that drive you, Rachel?
Talked about it a little bit as a team. We all know each other's goals and where we want to get to by trials, and what that plan looks like leading into trials, and beyond that as well. So it's and two of us have been, and two want to go, and we're all motivated in our own ways and excited for this year. We've put in the work, and everything else we can live with. We haven't left any stone unturned, and the rest is up to a little bit of luck at the end of the day.
Winding down, how would you describe your relationship to curling these days? It was interesting. The last time I did a conversation in this setting was with Brad Gushu, who has talked about, falling out of love in some respects of curling and trying to grapple with, why am I not motivated? What is it about where I'm at that I can't get up for some of these games? And I talk to a lot of athletes who struggle with that. And yet, from my perspective watching you, it seems like maybe your relationship with the sport is in a healthier place than ever before, but over to you to describe that.
Yeah, I think, my perspective right now is, I've got young kids, and, you're missing time with them. You're missing, milestones, holidays, events. And so when I'm away from that, I don't take that for granted. I want to do my absolute best. I want to give it all I have. If I'm just going out there and going through the motions, then I might as well hang it up, because I'm missing too much at home. For me, they're my motivation. I want to do well for them, my family, my friends, our entire support system that fly in and help out with the kids, and everyone, has to work a bit overtime just for me to try and achieve a goal or a dream. So, that's not lost on me. Yeah.
I feel that. Yeah. And maybe this is a perfect place to end, and it is emotional stuff, because this interview is going to air later this week, but it strikes me that you and I are sitting here on Thanksgiving, and happy Thanksgiving, Rachel.
Yes,
I'm grateful
yes.
for you. I get that, away from family. And I wonder, in this moment, with so many loved ones near you this week,
Yeah.
what are you grateful for?
Everything that I talked about, my family, my friends. Yeah, very grateful, and, so excited that they get to come and see me this week, whenever they want. They don't have to fly in on a certain day, drag them across the country, fly them home. Yeah, they get to stay in their routine and then come and watch. And yeah, brought my daughter today, and she's super excited to see the ice. She's like, "Why is it over?" I'm like, "No, it hasn't started." Yeah, it's just cute to hear their questions and all the excitement they get from it. And yeah, it's really fun.
Beautiful. I appreciate you.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you, Rachel.
Thanks.